zines. Zines, if you don't know, are self-created booklets that can be about anything you want, and then you make photocopies of them so you can share them with other people. Ways that you can share your zine are by selling them, trading with other people that make zines, or just giving them out for free. I see a lot of confusion about what zines are, and I just want to make something very clear before we get into the zine tour. Zines are not magazines. Not shading magazines at all. I love magazines. I buy magazines all the time, but zines are more rooted in self-expression over profit. A magazine is mass-produced. It is released on a regular schedule, very costly to make and sell, and its primary goal is to sell you something. And there are very interesting things in magazines. There's a lot of cool art magazines too, but what I'm talking about are the traditional magazines, which have like hella ads in them and just stuff that's not accessible to people like maybe me and you, who are not rich and don't come from money and just want to be expressive and artistic. Magazines are not usually for that. Magazines are there to make money. And zines, on the other hand, are like the exact opposite of that. Zines are there to express yourself and talk about polarizing ideas, talk about political ideas, share art, share photography, your short stories, poetry, anything. So here's one of my favorite magazines. This is GQ. When I talk about magazines, I like to tell people to think about what this is trying to tell you. When you flip through this magazine, what do they want you to do? What are they trying to convey? Because although there are interesting articles in here, you can tell that they're trying to sell you something. And there's really cool interviews in here. There's the cool one with Nicolas Cage. And then look, an ad. So you're flipping through ads. Cool interview. This is super interesting. Love it. Ad. Ad. More ads. More long ads. There's some cool stuff in here too. I saw something about how to curate an outfit. This is helpful for someone that could afford it though, because I thought this was cool. I thought it was a cool like little lookbook thing, and then I saw the prices. So the cheapest thing is an upcycled blouse for $324. And the most expensive thing is a panoramic duffel by Louis Vuitton, which costs $5,500. Even the back cover is an ad. Anyway, I hope that's clear about what a magazine is. I love magazines. I buy magazines all the time, but you can tell just by flipping through what the purpose is and what they're trying to do. Whereas a zine, on the other hand, is very expressive. They're not trying to sell you shit. They're not trying to sell you anything. If anything, they're just trying to make you a fan of something that they're a fan of, or just share something super niche and specific. Usually it'll be about something you can't even find in a magazine like that, right? Because magazines are not trying to be polarizing. They're not trying to be niche. They're trying to pump out as many magazines as they can to as many people as they can, because they're trying to sell the stuff that's in the magazine. And that's not always the case. Like I said, there are a lot of cool art magazines and stuff like that, but the traditional sense of the word magazine. So here's an example of a zine. I love this zine so much. This is by Hobo Lee, and it's called There's Something About a Train, issue number 4. There's not one single ad in here. The purpose of this is to express this creator's love for trains, love for travel, and to educate anyone reading this about hobo culture. And when you flip through, look at how different it is compared to the magazine we saw. It's very DIY, it's very punk, it's not polished. If anything, it's a little messy. Some of the words cut off on the sides. You can just tell that this is a labor of love, and the main purpose of putting this out there is to share something that they care about. So this is something that is not mass produced. You can't just walk into a Target or a Ralph's and pick something like this up. Whereas you can find one of these. So that's just my rough little definition of magazine versus zine. I love both of them, but this is way more accessible for people. Anybody can make something like this, and they're released in smaller batches. They're not regularly produced or publicized. For me, example, when I have zines in my shop, I have maybe about 25 to 30 available, and once they sell out, I have to close my shop and take a week to just restock all the zines. Sometimes I don't bring stuff back, and that's what's cool about zines too. Maybe one was very elaborate to make and you want to make one-offs, you can do that. Maybe you just want to retire a zine because it doesn't properly reflect who you are as a person anymore, and you want to be able to show a different side of yourself. So you retire the old zine and make only the new zines available. That's fine too. That's what's so cool about zines, is that they're accessible. They're flexible, they're creative, they're expressive. They're not about making a ton of money. They're just about sharing whatever you want to share. This is not the first zine I ever made, but it's one of the earliest in my series called You Kinda Suck. This is issue 1, which I released in 2017 because I was in college at the time studying English creative writing, and I was super frustrated at the fact that my writing wasn't being accepted by any of the literary magazines that I submitted to. I was very early on in my studies, but I was so frustrated that I wasn't getting into any of them. And my whole college career, I never got published, even when my writing improved. For whatever reason, maybe they didn't like the content. There's a variety of reasons. There's no bad guy here. There's just qualifications that I guess I didn't meet. And then I discovered zines back then and started making my own so I can put my short stories and poetry that was rejected into my own publication. So that's how I got my start into zines. I didn't want to have to go through a middleman to share my work. I was like, why can't I just do this and be able to share it with whoever I want without waiting to see if someone's going to accept me or not? And it's just a bunch of essays and poetry. And I made this by basically printing these out and gluing them onto the paper and photocopying it. There is a way that you can make them into Photoshop, but back then I didn't really know how to do that, so I just hand cut everything, glued them onto the pages, and then made photocopies. Here's one I really like. I sometimes include this little comic into my orders. It says, how to be the coolest person in the room. Step 1, be alone in your room. And that's supposed to be me. I don't know how much it looks like me, but it's just a doodle I made. Then I also have some essays on why Morrissey kinda sucks, in my opinion. I love his music, but if you want to read the essay, it's in this zine. And I share a small little playlist of one of my favorite artists called Jens Lekman. He's a Swedish songwriter and musician, and these are 3 of my favorite songs. I actually don't like You Kinda Suck. It's one of my most popular zines, but because it reflects a certain version of me that I no longer identify with, when I look back on this, I cringe. I'm sure a lot of artists can understand this. It's the same way with zines. Sometimes I make something and then years pass and I look back and I'm like, oh, what a naive little brat I was. I was just so angsty and frustrated and angry. And so you can kind of feel that through my writing. I think my writing has definitely progressed since then, so I do appreciate this zine, especially since it's one of the first ones I ever made, but it's not my favorite one. But because it has a special place in my heart, I like to make earrings out of them, just so it symbolizes that time in my life. People like to wear them too. And I think it's really cool. It's a way that you can change up your zine making. You can wear your art just as much as you can sell your art or share your art for free. There's no bounds to how you can make your zines, and so I decided to get creative and make zine earrings. Issue 2 came out 3 years after You Kinda Suck issue 1. And the reason for that is I started doing stand-up comedy. And I don't know why I thought this was going to be a good avenue for me to go into. I mean, I was doing well and I was booking a lot of spots, but primarily I was doing comedy because I wanted to share my work. I wanted to share my writing. So I would actually go up on stage and share my art and make funny little like Valentine's Day cards and show them to the audience. And it was really fun. So I took a break from making zines and I started doing comedy, so this came out way later than issue 1, but I explain all of that in the zine. This one is a mixture of using Photoshop and hand gluing things in. I customize these a lot, so every copy is a little bit different. I draw on it, I go in and I add stickers and stuff like that, so each one is very different. But the content is the same. So the pages are the same, but if there's like a little add-on, like on one of the pages there's a pop-up, this may differ, the color of this may be different, the color of paperclip may be different, and also on the back I have an end of the zine, and the copies of the zine inside are always the same, but there is a sticker inside and that may change. And that's what's so cool about zines, is that it doesn't have to be an exact carbon copy every single time. So if you buy a couple of copies of this, you'll probably get a different sticker in each one. It's just whatever I feel like in the moment. And here is the latest edition of You Kinda Suck. This is issue 3, which I just came out with last week. This one details a lot about my codependency in relationships and how I've learned to overcome that. It starts off with missing the person I'm referring to, and I say, I used to wonder what I'd do without you, and now that you're gone, all I do is smile. So what I was trying to go for here is show what the relationship was like. Even though it looks like they're happy and they're dancing, the background is very foreboding. It's very gloomy and dark, and that just kind of represented what I was going through in that relationship. It was like, I want to be with this person, but do I even like this person? They don't really treat me that well. Why am I hanging on to this? So the whole zine is basically exploring that codependency. It kind of evolves as you go down the page. I found this cool little ticket. It said single on it, and I think it just meant single access to whatever this ticket is for. But I thought it was cool because now, as I had left that relationship and entered my singlehood or single life or whatever, I'm kind of gloomy still. I'm missing that person, and that's what I thought this picture kind of symbolized. It was letting go of a bad situation, but still feeling pain from it, you know? Even though I knew it was best to leave that relationship and let that person go, I still had to go through the process of grieving and accepting it. And then it kind of evolves into this, where I felt like this accurately represents me now. Look at, she's a star. She's just sharing her voice with the world, and she's all by herself, but she's glowing. And I loved this sticker I found. I was like, this is a great little contrast to who I used to be with a partner compared to who I didn't know I could be without one. I've found myself. I don't need someone to complete me, so to speak. Having a partner is fun. I love being in a relationship, but I had to learn to accept myself and not rely on others to give me that validation I needed, which is what I was doing in this relationship and a couple of other relationships. It starts off with a short story that I wrote when I was in college, and it's about that relationship, but then also I talk about some rebounds I had. I talk about some really bad experiences I've had dating afterwards. That's me drinking a beer, talking about my friend Kim, who unfortunately took her own life. This is a letter to someone. And then at the end, it kind of wraps up with me accepting who I am. It says, being horrible to myself isn't okay just because nobody can see me doing it. It's my job to look after me. And then I have a little ending haiku. Through all the pain, I'm so glad I didn't take your shit advice. So when you read the zine, you can see a little glimpse into what that toxic relationship was like on both sides. You know, I wasn't my best self, they weren't their best self, and when you come together thinking that's gonna fix you, you're wrong, you're misguided. So I had to learn that lesson the hard way, and it took a lot of years to finally get to this. And it ends with a zine that I put in here. I like this too, I collaged this. It says the feminine urge to be his therapist, but I won't. So that's me trying to reinforce that I'm good by myself. I could totally have a partner if I wanted to, but remember that it's supposed to add to your life. It's not supposed to drain you, and it's not supposed to complete you or completely validate you. You have to kind of give that to yourself too. You have to be okay with yourself, accept yourself, know who you are before you start mixing with another person, and that's just me trying to reinforce that. This is a zine that I add inside. It's a mini zine, and it kind of goes into that relationship too. It's called You Never Made a Playlist for Me. And this is another one of my early zines. This one is called One Sketch and Some Thoughts Volume 2. I actually lost Volume 1. I accidentally shipped it off in an order, so I lost the master copy and haven't successfully got anyone to send me a PDF version of it. So that one's long gone, but this is Volume 2. And I like this one because I used a mixture of collaging. This is all from magazines. I drew on it and cut out some text. It has poetry, journal entries, some more poems, and then at the end it says unfold me, because when you unfold the zine, there's a secret poster on the back. You can utilize the back of the zine in this way so you're not wasting paper. I like to tell people to unfold because I really want them to see it, but I also make ones where it's just a surprise, so if you find it, you find it. If you end up reading the whole zine and you don't know that there's something on the back, That's cool too. So this zine I was commissioned to make for the singer Mac DeMarco. His team reached out to me after seeing my TikTok videos and they thought I would be a good fit to design his official fan club zine. And that's what I did. They hired me and I was able to make a 20-page zine for them. They gave me full creative control and then they went ahead and made 300 copies. So only 300 copies of this exist. It was completely handmade. I took a lot of photos that they provided me from his tour and any kind of notes for what he wanted for the zine, and I was able to do a mixture of hand making it and also editing in Procreate and Photoshop. I was able to also add in a breakup playlist because while I was making this zine, it took me about 6 months to make, but somewhere during that 6 months I went through a breakup with someone I was dating for like 3 years. So it took a heavy toll on me, but I still had to work. So I was like, how can I work when all I want to do is cry and be depressed? So I ended up making a breakup playlist and it has some songs in there that I cried to while I was going through my breakup and a little bit of a personal note about how Mac DeMarco's music has influenced my life and kind of connected to the breakup. I can read it too. The soundtrack of my heartache is always Mac DeMarco. It's not on purpose, it's just a strange coincidence. My playlist shuffles on its own, yet it intuitively picks the moments where I'm at my absolute lowest to play without me. Even worse, it's always the acoustic version. Sometimes I'd rather sit in the apartment and listen to the noises of outside. The bustling sounds of downtown annoys me, but at least it distracts me from the reality that there's no laughter here anymore. Just a lingering, quiet static. And even though it's silent, I'm not calm. I think about the fact I didn't even know who the hell Mac DeMarco was before meeting you. Over the years, almost all of his songs became our songs. You used to smile at me in the morning and tell me I was your kind of woman. Now your name is off the lease. The other day, I laughed because I caught myself getting excited at the sound of a stranger skateboarding in the alley behind the apartment, because that sound used to mean that you were on your way home. Pretty sad. Also very personal. This has nothing really to do with Mac DeMarco promoting himself or catering to his fans. This was just something completely for me, and I thought it was really cool that they let me do this. They let me channel Mac DeMarco in any way I wanted, so that is a good gig to me. The fact that it caters to zines, so there's only 300 copies, it's not like it was mass produced or anything. It's a mixture of handmade and using Procreate and Photoshop, so it's mixed media. Plus, they let the creator kind of insert herself into the zine and how she relates to Mac DeMarco's music. So this is another collage I made, and you could tell it's mixed media. I cut out all these images myself. That's a picture of Mac. These are some other things that I sourced out of old magazines. I went to antique shops in Long Beach and I find a whole bunch of old magazine clippings. Like, they sell individual magazine cutouts that are very old. They're vintage for people that like to collect them, but I like to go through and use them for my zines. And I was able to collage this together. I scanned it in, uploaded it to the app Procreate, and then I was able to draw all this other stuff on it. Now, this has got to be my favorite zine of all time. I cherish it so much because it's actually a tea bag. I try to keep it in mint condition by not exposing it too much to like my oily hands or anything. I want to preserve this for as long as I can. And the little label that you can find on most tea bags is actually a zine, and this is by Netta Bomani. They make a lot of cool, very interesting, innovative zines. And this one is called The New Negro, an Interpretation, edited by Alan Locke. And look it. Oh, it's glued. See, that's so cool. That's the nature of zines right there. You gotta be careful, they could be fragile. Look at this. I can't get over just how creative this is. And look at the detail. I can really see that. Like, that's amazing, beautiful, wonderful, creative. This is just so chef's kiss. I'm giving kisses, kisses, kisses. This is one of my favorite zines ever. And so when people are like, what can a zine be about? How can you make a zine? I always show them this zine because look it, you can make a tea bag zine. Make that crazy zine idea. It's not, and I say crazy in the best possible way right now. I'm not trying to be insulting when I say that, make something like this. If y'all don't start making zines, if y'all don't stand up and start making zines, look at how cool they can be. Here's a zine that I found out while I was shopping. I was at a bookstore called Page Against the Machine in downtown Long Beach, and they sell a lot of books on political ideas and really like revolutionary ideas in art. And I found this one and I thought it was very, very cool because they use cutouts and vellum paper throughout the zine. So this is by Hazel Newlevant. And it was printed on very heavy cardstock. It's really cool. I try to keep this one in really good condition as well, just because of how these cutouts are. I don't want it to get caught up on anything and tear, so I keep this in its own little sleeve most of the time. I want to show you what I mean by using the vellum paper. It starts with this comic. This is also a printed comic, but on kind of see-through paper, which interacts with this first comic here. So watch when I turn the page, how it changes these frames here. That is awesome. Here, let me show you again. So this is how it starts off. Empty, desolate streets. This person doesn't see anyone. Turn the page. Here's a person approaching. They see them and they realize, did I really see them? Was that in my imagination? And that is what's so cool about this zine, is that they're using this see-through paper to interact with it, and they're bringing you along with that experience. They're making it very participatory. You're very involved. You have to be paying attention to understand this story, and they use that a lot. Look at that. If you don't think that's incredible, look at it's covering it. So that's not revealed yet until you turn the page, then it's revealed, and it's just another chef's kiss zine. This is just incredible. And this paper and these methods are very easy to do. This is not expensive at all. This is a zine that a kid sent me that I thought was so adorable. They said, "Hi Brie, it's me, Eli. I love the zines I got from you, and some of my friends made our own. It's really bad, LOL. Feel free to share." So that's exactly what I'm gonna do, because I don't think it's bad at all. I think it's so cool. It's called Irving Steam Zine, The Ghost. And I love it because they talk about ghost stories they've heard in their school. And this is my favorite page here. It says a collection of ghosts. And look at how cute. Look at that one. That one's probably my favorite one. I want that tattooed on my body now. And then there's like a little mini one. And then this is pretty funny too. It says what to say or what to do when you see a ghost. Step 1, pinch yourself. Step 2, scream and run to your room. Step 3, go mentally insane. That's so cute to me. You can write your own ghost experience here. They totally get the nature and culture of zines. This kid, this awesome kid, Eli, understands zines so well at such a young age. This is so cool. They're making it an experience. They're building community. They want people to participate in their zine. That is amazing. And I forgot to fill it out, but I definitely will. That way I can post and share it with Eli so they could see that I actually participated. And then it just ends. We aren't Ghostbusters, and you probably aren't either, but sometimes it's fun to think about the supernatural. We hope you enjoyed the zine as much as we did making it. Irving Zine Team. Zine Team, that's so cute. Okay, this is the last zine I want to share. I have plenty more, and I could definitely make more videos like this, but this one I actually just got from my P.O. box. Someone sent me a zine trade. This person's name is Julia, and I loved it so much I was like, okay, it has to be in the video. The envelope, they give me some instructions. It says, the contents are folded in the flap, so you'll have to destroy this envelope, sorry. That's so interactive. It's so the culture of zines, you know, it's just so DIY and messy and not perfect, not polished. I love it. I already saw this, by the way. I was just very careful not to destroy the zine yet, or sorry, destroy the envelope yet. Look at that. This, I swear to God, is an original. It has to be, because I'm looking at the lines and feeling it, and I can feel eraser marks, I can feel pen marks. They gave me their master copy, and it's incredible, and it's called Stickers. And I love their art style. They just go in and talk about why they love stickers. And it comes with stickers as well. I love the little pocket that they added on the back. Totally did it themselves. You can tell because I can see the tape there. That is so cool and just so So punk rock. Here are the stickers that they gave me. Ooh, that's cute. And that's something about me. I collect stickers as well. I love to display them. I never stick them on anything. I kind of just get clothespins and hang them up around my apartment. So these are definitely gonna go up in my bedroom or my living room. That's so cute. Sonic! That's so cool because when they were DMing me before they sent the zine, they asked me if I like Sonic. That is so cool. Oh my god. Oh my god. I can't believe I have this. I can't believe this is I can't believe I have a master copy. Like that's, look at, okay, I'm not gonna scream, but I'm screaming. Yeah, very sweaty. I don't have AC in my apartment, so I have a fan going, but it's not helping at all. Melting. But those are all the zines I wanted to share. I hope that some of those zines you saw inspire you to create the zine that you have in your mind that you don't see out in the world. I want to see every zine ever. I want to see ones made out of garbage, like recycled paper. Make your own paper and then make a zine. I want to see a zine about zines. Your most embarrassing experiences. I have a lot of those. I have a lot of those. Anyway, I wanted to show you as much as I could. I have so many. This would probably be like, this video would probably be days long if I included every zine I own and every zine I've ever made. But you know, I'm down for that. I could totally do that. But I just wanted to give a short little zine tour so you can see a little bit of variety. There's a little bit of everything. You can make them any way you want. You can add pop-ups, you can add inclusions, you can add stickers to it. All that matters is that you're having fun, that you have the access to make it yourself. If you don't have access to a printer, you can go to your local library, you can go to a FedEx office, you can borrow your friends, bust into an office. Do what you need to do to create your zine, but don't think that you need like a state-of-the-art printer or to go to a big publishing house to get your zine out there. You can do it yourself. You can put the ideas onto paper, fold it up, and send it to whoever you want. It's that direct, it's that easy, it's that instant.